For me, I'm going to turn around the protocol on its head. I just came back from Ethiopia. The Prime Minister of Ethiopia, Abiy Ahmed, described him as one of the greatest Africans alive. 100 years from now, all of us seated here must have become poor tenants in the home of the earthworms, forgotten, completely forgotten. But he will still be remembered because he followed the dictum of Peter Drucker. He predicted the future by creating it. As I have always said, Aliko Dangote is not an individual, he is an institution, an African institution that should be celebrated, depended. Some of us have been in the political limelight for the past 20 years, but some people find it difficult even to pronounce my name, even as the sitting vice president. John Quincy Adams, the first occupant of that seat, described the office of the vice president as the most insignificant office that ever the invention of man contrived or his imagination conceived. And I wasn't the first person to suffer such indignity. Goodluck Jonathan was variously called Goodluck Jonathan, Jonathan Goodluck, Ebele Jonathan, for 8 years. Former Vice President Yomi Osibanjo was called Yomi Osibanjo, Yemi Osibanjo. So, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I'm quite glad to be with you this afternoon. The President of Dangote Industries, Alhaji Aliko Dangote, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Zujugu Dajo, the Ada Agba Ga, the cat with 9 lives. He is now the longest serving public servant in our system. Hitherto, that position was occupied by Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje. He was variously a permanent secretary, a director of protocol with the Benue State government. He was the governor of Benue State for 8 years, a senator of the Federal Republic for 16 years, a minority leader, a minister of the Federal Republic, and now the secretary to the government of the Federation. Your Excellency, Dr. Hadiza Sabwa Balarabe, the Deputy Governor of Kaduna State. Your Excellency, Chief John Monde Oyeme, the Deputy Governor of Delta State. Representatives of our state governors present here. The Honorable Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Dr. Jumoke Oduole, MFR. The Honorable Minister of Regional Development, Engineer Abubakar Momo. The Honorable Minister of State for Industry, Trade and Investment, Senator John Owan Eno. The Honorable Minister of State for Regional Development, Honorable Uba Maigari Amodu. The United Nations Resident and Humanitarian Coordinator in Nigeria, Mr. Mohammed Malik Pal, and other representatives of international organizations. The Special Advisor to the President on Job Creation and Micro, Small, and Medium Enterprises, Mr. Temitola Adekule Johnson, and other senior presidential aides, heads of government agencies and parastatals and extra-ministerial departments. There are so many that I can't, but I have my boss in Venice Bank, Noe Aini. Both of us was general managers in Venice Bank, but she became a general manager ahead of me, so I call her my boss in Venice Bank. So I want to use you to recognize and appreciate all heads of government agencies and parastatals here. Captains of industry, including Alhaji Karim Yusuf, the MD of Calm Holdings, and my very good friend Boye Olusaya, the MD of Flour Mills of Nigeria Limited. Mr. Kadri, you are the boss head man, but I am yet to know the industries you are running. So with all, I respect you, I adore you. Distinguished panelists, senior government officials, members of the fourth estate of the Rim, honored guests, ladies and gentlemen. When we took over the affairs of this nation in 2023, we did so with a promise to redefine our industrial ambition. To occupy more than the margins in this web of industrial revolution, we must set up the infrastructure to compete with the rest of the world. To compete, we must first plan. And I'm excited to share in the promise of this day as we unveil the Nigeria Industrial Policy 2025. This policy is a product of thorough introspection and a roadmap for re-engineering our industrial base, unlocking value across sectors and placing production, competitiveness, and jobs at the center of Nigeria's economic strategy. For too many years, we have contended with fragmented value chains, high production costs, infrastructure gaps, policy inconsistencies, and insufficient coordination between government and industry. This stops now. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the Nigeria Industrial Policy is an acknowledgement of our deficiencies. We have realized that industrialization is not a wish you think about. It is an action you perform. More than that, we must remind ourselves that this task demands coherence across energy, trade, infrastructure, finance, skills, and innovation. It requires partnership between government and the private sector. This policy therefore prioritizes strategic sector focus anchored on our comparative and competitive advantages. It advances value chain development so that Nigeria moves steadily from exporting raw materials to producing finished goods. It integrates our micro, small and medium enterprises into the heart of industrial growth, because prosperity must not be exclusive. It aligns infrastructure and energy with industrial ambition, for factories cannot run on policy alone. It strengthens skills, technology, and innovation to prepare our people for the industries of today and tomorrow. And it establishes a clear implementation architecture, because policies rarely fail at conception. They fail at execution. The defining strength of this policy is its insistence on implementation. This administration will not measure success by the number of documents we produce. We will measure success by the number of factories that open their gates at dawn, by the jobs created for our young men and women, by the exports that leave our ports bearing the mark of Nigerian excellence, and by the value retained within our economy. That is why the Nigeria Industrial Policy is firmly aligned with our macroeconomic reforms. It aligns with our trade and export ambitions under the African Continental Free Trade Area. It is aligned with our commitment to local content, competitiveness, and investment certainty. It is aligned with our resolve to build an industrial economy that works for everyday Nigerians. And this is how nations rise. I must commend the Honorable Minister of State for Industry, Senator John Owen Eno, and his senior, Dr. Jumoke Oduwole, for their disciplined leadership and clarity of purpose in driving this process. They have demonstrated that policy leadership is not about noise, but about substance, coordination, and follow-through. I also commend the ministry's technical teams, industry stakeholders, manufacturers, investors, and practitioners whose insights have shaped this policy into a document grounded in reality and informed by experience. We must tell ourselves that if this plan is to come to life, all stakeholders in our industrial sector must be at the decision-making table. Our private sector must be supported to invest with confidence and responsibility, to deepen local value chains, to create jobs and transfer skills, and to partner with government in building a productive economy. This means committing not only to policy stability and coherence, but also to transparent engagement with industry. It means committing to measurable targets and accountability, and to a relentless focus on results. And results truly count. In the year 2025, the Dangote Industries, the cement sector alone, paid us 900 billion naira in taxes. This is how economies go. This is how we create jobs. The government has no business being in business. You are the creators of wealth. All of you here. We are mightily proud of manufacturers in this country who are here in spite of all the challenges. We are not unappreciative of your efforts. You are literally generating your own power. Alhaji Aliko generates more energy than the Nigerian state for its industries. But the president, I want to assure this esteemed gathering that the president is fully committed to redefining the meaning and concept of modern leadership. He is determined to drive the transformation of this nation. Because wherever Nigeria goes, that's where Africa goes. Let's work for the Nigerian nation. Let's work for the Nigerian people. The average age of the Nigerian nation is 16.9. We are the global workforce. Asia is aging. Europe is being depopulated. America, if you remove the Latinos and the African Americans, America too is aging. But Africa is a young continent. So let's unite as a people behind our leader, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in spite of whatever contradictions we might have. All nations have their own internal contradictions. But if you have a vision and a focus and a roadmap towards accomplishing those goals, I believe we will reach the promised land. Anyone following the trend in the Nigerian stock exchange will be overexcited. For someone like me, I'm even frightened at the phenomenal rise in the value of stocks. Why? It's a reflection of the health of the Nigerian economy. A friend of mine called me yesterday out of fear that his stocks increased by 1.7 billion naira in value within 24 hours. That shows the vibrancy. In spite of all the negativities, Nigeria is indeed a great nation. So as I unveil the Nigeria Industrial Policy 2025, I do so with the conviction that Nigeria's industrial future is an achievable reality within our grasp, if we summon the discipline to pursue it. The work begins now, not tomorrow, not next year, now. I thank you all, and may God bless us.